early national signing period, December 20th through the 22nd. Portal will close on January 2nd. So,
Well done. Well done.
Let me ask you guys this. True or false? For Miami to have any significant success next year on the field, they need to hit home runs with their QB1 and safety portal picks.
Ooh. True. It's the most important at the quarterback position. It's the most important position in the room. It's the most important position on the team. Obviously, you saw when we had a starting quarterback, kind of have like a midseason slump, finished on a higher note. But the midseason slump was either the catalyst or non-catalyst, however, what side you want to be on that particular issue. But the losses mounted when that happened. So you have to nail this position. You have to, and they need a portal quarterback. So yes.
Yeah, I think it's, if you would have just said quarterback, I would have agreed to that as well. Because the safeties, I think they'll be fine. I mean, you can get guys, right? But you need that quarterback, man. Now, look, is it to push Jakari? Is Jakari still going to be here? Does Jakari go out in the Pinstripe Bowl and absolute show out? And all of a sudden, everyone's like, somebody said, was it last week we said that this is kind of a no-win situation, right? Because if he goes and he shows out, everyone's like, what the fuck? What have we been doing? Right? And if he doesn't,
he ends his career.
It doesn't really go that far, right? I mean,
he does. He got a lot of the line.
So, look, I would love nothing more than for us to have a young quarterback that we brought in, that we developed, that committed here, that stayed here, and plays really well here. I'd like for that. I'd like to be a Matt Rule in that situation, which is funny to me how he's going after every Porter quarterback. But I'd like for that to happen, as opposed to going out and getting that guy every year in the portal, right? And having that whole conversation. But we'll see.
Who do you think, on the flip side, who do you think led the team in tackles?
Who led the team in tackles?
Who do you think?
I mean, I'd go with Kiko.
Francisco Maulinoa had 70 tackles. He did not lead the team in tackles. That would be James Williams with 73. So the safety position is going to be important because the way as it currently sits, it is a good rush defense under Lance Guidry. And your leading tackler was a safety, a Swiss Army knife of sorts. So you're going to have to replace his multiplicity. You just have to.
I would also say that, as unique as James is, my whole even reason for bringing up the safety room, because everyone has said the heart and soul of that defense and the captain was Cam. And you have to not only replace his, that part of him on the field, but you got to replace that aspect in the locker room. And that's that's a huge void that walked out that's going to the NFL. He was one of the special ones.
Yeah, and I think Kiko, and as I was saying, I think Kiko's like right there on his heels. So if we lose both of them, you're losing a majority of the leadership on that side of the ball. And then you got to look to some young guys to pick it up. I mean, because then it gets really young.
Well, and also really young. Look at
Flag leaves.
When you look at the recruiting class, there's no stud linebacker coming in. There's a few 3-stars, but there's no hype man 5-star coming in. So
I think they're really comfortable with what they have.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Popo,
as far as
Popo.
I think
Gary, they're really.
I
would love a
West.
Popo Kiko, like Kiko and Popo. Nickname you at that point. Nickname you if Kiko stays. Nickname you.
All right. So we got Chances out the door. Cyrus now out the door. Corey out the door. TVD, Chaney, Jafari, Frank Ladson, Jaleel Skinner, Malik Curtis. So obviously defensive end takes a shot there. Then Leonard Taylor also going to the NFL, so defensive line. Now, there are a lot of DNs still on the roster. So it's not as if that is a position, but you're going to need a couple D tackles, I'm thinking. I think you only have 3 or 4 now. But Ro, you're mute.
Sorry about that. Hey, you definitely do. Leonard Taylor is now out the door. So you're going to have to fill that void. I think all intents and purposes, they knew coming into this portal season that they needed to go after some high-end DT tackle talent. DT tackle, it's redundant. A quarterback and safeties. I think we can all agree there. A lot of the other position depth and group, if you listen to Mario, he wants 3 deep at all positions. But those are the ones that you don't really have 3 deep, right? Defensive end, you got 3 deep. Defensive tackle, currently you don't. Quarterback, you definitely don't. Safeties, you don't. So he's trying to get that 3 deep at every position because, look, what happened to Florida State? You weren't deep at the quarterback position. It ultimately bit you in the ass, and you didn't get into the playoff. So you have to have that stable of roster so you can go ahead and weather the storm because football's a violent game. Injuries are going to mount up. It always happens. But, yeah, they need some portal work. Defensive tackle for sure.
Bro, FSU's quarterback room was as deep as ours.
Yes.
They were identical. They were freaking identical rooms.
They were all in one guy. Yeah. And you saw Louisville, they picked up a 7th-year senior from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
That might be your guy, Toast. That's your guy to come in to try to compete, to provide some quality backup. The guy has umpteenth amount of starts, and that's what you needed because obviously I thought you were nuts, bro. Toast, I love you. I thought you were nuts. Now, after seeing what happened to us and then them, I'm like, yeah, you need like a couple of quarterbacks.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. We thought he was crazy. We don't think he's crazy now, but the ability to make that happen is much harder than we're saying, or we're just kind of implying, right? It's not. I mean, you have to come up with you have to have put that together perfectly for that to fall into place, considering the portal, considering the fact that these guys can go out. They're there for 1 year. They're there for 1 year. They're here for 1 year. They're there for 1. I mean, it really is crazy. And for you to be able to stack them and have that experience down the line and a quality backup, and then potentially somebody behind him that's not a true freshman making his first start, it's really, really hard. Really hard. I mean, I think it's even. Here's the thing that's kind of crazy, right? The QB carousel. It used to be the coaching carousel. Now it's become the QB carousel. The QB portal carousel. Because you've got 15, at least, starters that enter the portal. Some of them going for more money. Some of them going for the fact that they want to, they need a fresh start. Some of them going to the fact that maybe they were going to lose their job, like Dylan Gabriel apparently was just going to lose his job, interestingly enough. So you have this QB carousel, and it's wild to me because there is a decent chance, like not all of these guys are going to go to that next team and be better than they were or as good as they were on the previous team. So there's a lot of schools out there that are going to get guys, and it's always grass is greener, and they're just not going to be as good as maybe the guy you had or as good as they were the previous year or 2 years. It's going to be really interesting because this is now like really starting to catch fire, right? Now it's really in the hopper. And I think it's going to be a little bit more of a wake-up call than somebody told me a long time ago. Actually, I'd tell you who told me this a long time ago. It was actually Rose's mother told me this a long time ago. She said, grass is, I was the first person I ever heard say this.
I know this. I've heard
grass is always greener on the other side until you step in shit. It's true.
It is true.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, man, there's 7 figures on the table now for these guys. Like, this isn't just transferring now. Yes, but for those top guys, this is now a business decision for the Cam Wards, for all those guys. Like, this is major money. So you got people with vested interest in their ears. This is now a business. This isn't just about playing football any longer.
Right.
And we said this was pro sports. Welcome to it, bro. This is pro sports.
Cam Ward rumored to be in the $2 million range for his services next year. But I didn't even think that was the craziest thing. The craziest thing about the portal was Marvin Harrison Jr. Because Marvin Harrison Jr. announced that he was going into the portal because he wants to entertain those offers because he actually might make more money next year coming back to college than going to the NFL. Let that resonate and marinate in your brain. That's insane.
And this all on the day that the NCAA announced, but they would have a proposal that there would be a new level of Division I schools that would all be allowed to pay their players tens of thousands of dollars a year in addition to the scholarship, have all the NIL stuff in-house, and you just pay your players.
Dan Radakovich is somebody who applauded that.
A lot. No one came out saying no way in hell. They were like, you know what, this is the right track.
The only thing with that, I just see a Title IX just kind of waged war there. Like, because the justification, because the football players are going to be, yeah, we deserve more money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. And we saw what happened with, like, Miss Rapinoe and the U.S. women's soccer team. Right. Exactly. So that's not going to work right.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you this. Do you think Isaiah Taylor might be an option at safety? How do you feel about that? Former STA. He's at Arizona. JT's son has gone into the portal as well.
Well, I'd be surprised if he doesn't show up here.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to think that he would probably come here. I don't know how much he's going to play. I mean, he played a bit. He played more, I think, 2 years ago than this.
2 years ago, yeah.
And I don't know if that was because of injury, if that was because he got overtaken, and that's why he's in the portal, or he's just in the portal because he wants to come back home and he sees the fact that that we're losing some guys. I would imagine he'd be on the roster.
Yeah, and the other one that seems likely is Syrup. Well, Pancake's his brother, so we'll just call him Syrup.
Oh, right. So, Okaluna or whatever. Yeah.
Ogunyola. Yeah. So
that's another D end.
Yeah.
Pancake and Syrup. So maybe they can mix.
They threw out a list of the top 10 portal quarterbacks, and they were trying to peg where they would go. I think it was Gabby that retweeted this one. An interesting name that I hadn't heard mentioned coming to Miami, and that would be DeQuan Finn out of Toledo.
Toledo kid. Yeah. I mean,
that's Canada, right?
Huh?
Is that Canada's offense?
No, Candle.
Yeah. Candle. I'm sorry. Candle's offense. Yeah.
Candle's
I can't
offense.
think of
He's talented. He's good. I don't know how great of a thrower of the ball he is. I mean, I've watched his highlights. I've seen some of his stuff. I've looked at all the court. I've actually taken a little bit of time this week. And looked at some film.
Show prep. What
in the world is this?
Whoa,
I mean,
whoa.
Yeah, I know.
6 years in.
Yeah. And I looked at some film because I wanted to seem somewhat educated on this show, which is probably not ever going to happen. But I did. Yeah. I mean, fine. I mean, look, I think he's going to stay in the Midwest, probably. I mean, he'll probably end up Wisconsin or something like that. I don't think he's coming down here. I think we have a shot at two guys. I think we have two main guys.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do, ladies and gentlemen, this is Scoop's quarterback breakdown in the transfer portal. Go.
Welcome to the circus, boys and girls. Here we are. It's the QB Carousel. I don't know.
Who you got? Who are you looking at?
I think Ward or Howard. And I said that from the beginning. I think it's more likely Howard. That's just my opinion. And I don't want to say too much because nobody's made decisions yet. And nobody listens to this show anyway. But I don't want to say plus or minuses on anybody really until these kids make a decision.
What do you think about McCord from Ohio State? Yeah, well, I'm not impressed by that, but a lot of folks are saying this would be a natural landing spot for him.
For what? Why?
I'm just saying what talking.
He's got 1
saying.
year. I mean, look, he's not great, but here's the thing. Here's my personal opinion. None of them are. None of them are great. They're all good to better than good. None of them are great. I think if the dude who snookered us into saying that Weigman was available, that's a step above. It's a cut above, in my opinion. Right? The other guys, they're good. They're serviceable. They're good quarterbacks. None of them. Cam Ward, he's good. He's not great.
As preposterous as that sounds, if they were great, they'd be NFL bound. So there is some merit to what you're saying. They're very good. If the quarterback that we had that went into the transfer portal was great, he'd be going in the first round, right? He needs a new fresh start. Things went south. For these quarterbacks, they're looking for fresh starts. If they were great, Caleb Williams, I think he's very damn good.
Not in the portal.
Not in the portal. He's going to the NFL. The great ones are gone.
Right.
So you're looking for very good.
You're looking for very good. If you get very good, you're very
But
lucky.
I love the Freudian slip earlier by Toast. He said it's Canada's offense. No, not Canada's offense. It's Candles. But Matt Canada, he had Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow sucked. Right? He sucked. Right? He was not that, like, he is the devourer of talent, Matt Canada. Right? I like his run game. He's not anybody I would send to go play quarterback for.
He got fired, didn't he?
No week? Shit. Kenny Pickett learned the hard way.
Yeah.
But again, with these quarterbacks, the best you can hope for too is that they can make that meteoric jump, because him and Shannon could go ahead and like just have this synergistic get-go, and they can hit better than what Tyler and him last year were able to do.